Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nordmark. It is. Yes. So we're all doing great. All the players are ready. I'm doing things last minute as per usual. Yeah. We're doing good though. We're doing good. We've got a brand new quest. We're off to Bleakwash again. So some of you who saw this was the second ever quest of Nordmark will remember Bleakwash and what happened there. But things have changed a little there, and none of the characters have ever actually none of the characters on this one have ever been there before. So it's great. I can just change whatever I want. And Talia can't do shit about it. So before we start, I want to introduce the players. So we'll go from left to right on my screen. So we'll start with Mr. Blues playing Parfait. If you've watched Cake Maker, you'll recognize Parfait. Mr. Blue, why don't you tell me a little bit about Parfait?
Well, Parfait, he's a Gloomstalker Ranger. He likes, hanging out in the dark. He's always there to try and help out where he can. He's got this really cool friend named Jeremy, which is absolutely just a skull he's doing a bit with, and he's not going to tell anyone.
I am a big fan of Parfait already. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to run some D&D for Parfait. Next over we have Pastoral Raven. Pastoral Raven, why don't you introduce Thoric? Which I bet I'm pronouncing wrong.
Meowdy. You got it right.
Yes.
Thoric Greyward is a mountain dwarf battlesmith artificer who lost his arm fighting some gubbos, and he's a chill dude.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing Thoric in action. Actually, I love Artificer is my favorite class personally, so I'm very excited. And lastly and leastly, we have Talia. Talia, what are you playing?
Hello. Oh, just a humble fisher taught. No, wait, no, that's the other one. This one's the crafty one.
Yep.
Got a portal fisher. An artificer. There you go, artificer. That's the word. Who is obsessed with the science of fishing and finding the best way to catch fish, and to that end has discovered some sort of magical hook, both quest and fish, over in Bleakwash.
Exactly. Right. Sorry for being mean to you there, Talia. I can't resist because of all the pain you put me through in other streams.
Yeah, I mean, probably deserve it.
So, you all meet in a rather stereotypical fashion in Airedale, in the tavern. You're not there for drinking, though. You've been invited there by the sheriff, who is sort of portly, older gentleman tabaxi, and he's invited you all in, and he's like, "Nah, it's really good that you could all come here, because I'm really worried about one of the members of Airedale, and I'm wondering if we can put together something. They're not here at the moment, but when they get back, maybe an intervention. You understand me? Because you see this impenitent Malak there? I don't know. I don't know if I can get through to this kid. You understand? Anyone got any ideas what we can do? Because I really care about impenitent Malak, and if anything untoward were to happen to them, I'd be very upset. I'd be greatly upset, but we can't be having this recklessness going on." So for some context, for Pastoral Raven and Mr. Blue, Imp's dead. But
Well, not dead.
no one at home knows this yet.
They're not dead. They're just in hell.
They're
Different.
Imagine the embodiment of a chaos gremlin, right? Like the greatest embodiment of chaos. And this portly tabaxi's going on and is like, I think if we can all get together, maybe around some gumbo or something, and have, talk it over and make him see that, they're loved here in Airedale. They've got something to come back to maybe not be so restless about. Tyler's asking a question in chat. Does Cletus Fairberg Jr., which is the name of this tabaxi guard, use a litter box? And the answer is sometimes. Depends how far away the toilet is. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I'm all out of ideas. What about you, Free? How can we make young and penitent Malak put away all this chaos and take up some greater responsibility?
I mean, you can lock them up.
I tried that, and they're all tricksy and all that with their magics.
You can lock them up again.
Yeah, have you tried using a better jail cell?
I could do with a better jail cell, but we just don't have the funds here in Airedale. I don't know. Maybe we can produce... I mean, if only we had some inventors here, some people who could create things that could find a way to lock up Imp a little bit better, and then I can sit outside. I've heard that if I put the chair backwards and sit on it, then the kids will understand the message a little bit better, and I can reach them a bit better with that.
Well, I'm quite the inventor myself, but I've currently got no ideas. Jail cells aren't my specialty.
Well, I appreciate that. We have some time while young Imp's away on adventuring, and maybe we can come up with something in between. And it's after talking to Cletus Fairburg Jr. for more than 2 or 3 seconds that you feel the deep innate desire to leave Airedale for some time. And so you all decide to go on a quest. So I think this quest was actually started by a Freyan who wanted to go. I think possibly originally it was started by a One-in. I'm not 100% sure, but a One-in's not available. But a Freyan wants to go.
No, it was the Freyan.
Oh, this was okay. Well, wants to go back to Bleakwash, which was the site of a cult ritual that awakened a kraken under the waters.
And... Oh, you meant before we got there. Got it.
But there is a whole dungeon there that has not been explored. The kraken lives in it, and there's probably some great loot in there. Like, you know, if you can survive the kraken. So loot's there. It's it's just all about getting there. So
the quest was started because a Freyan was looking for magical artifacts for fishing and found writing about a magic fish hook that attracts the fish.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's somewhere in the Bleakwash catacombs. So I will introduce the travel mechanic. I mean, Mr. Blue, you're already familiar, and Tyler, you're already familiar, but Pastor Raven, this will be fairly new to you. We have a much more simplified sort of travel mechanic because it comes up a lot. So each of these hexes is 8 miles in radius, so quite a large area. You'll see notes on some of the hexes. These hexes have been in before. You're not guaranteed to hit the same thing as before because 8 square miles is actually quite a huge area. And we have the essentially you start with tokens. Every day you've got about 8 or 9 travel tokens, and that's how much time you've basically got. Each hex costs a certain number of tokens. It makes it a lot easier than trying to go, okay, you've moved 2 miles now, let's roll for a random encounter, that sort of thing. You are guaranteed an encounter in each hex because 8 miles is quite a long walk. But they're not always combat, you know, it's not just combat. There's things like just weather changes or something like that, or, you know, Brexit squirrel.
No, Brexit squirrel's dead. Well,
I refuse to elaborate on that.
Undead.
There's a revenant squirrel out there somewhere you don't want to meet.
Very mad at Tattle.
Very mad at Tattle, Brexit Squirrel is. And a menace, yeah. The chat are going wild for Brexit Squirrel. They know the nonsense involved, but I think we're probably safe in that regard.
But Baz is out there.
So the travel base is essentially, if you're going through plains, which, you know, a fair chunk of the terrain around here is, that's going to just cost 3 tokens per hex. You get 9 if you're going at a normal pace. So you can do 3 hexes a day. That's something which is about 24 miles, which is roughly what, you know, a humanoid can do per day without exhausting themselves. And, you know, forest is a bit more and that sort of thing. There is a reference for this in the Legend Keeper as well if you need it. But honestly,
and the hills too.
It's not. Oh yeah, and the hills are a bit more as well, of course, because it's a bit complex.
And the
going
river.
through. But the first question we've really got to answer is, how fast are you moving for this? So you've got 3 options: fast pace. If you're going at fast pace, your perception checks are at disadvantage. Your passive perception has a -5. You can't use stealth. So if you stumble on a combat, you're going to be, you know, in the middle of combat straight away because you're essentially running, you know. You also can't forage or draw maps or anything like that while you're going. So you'll have to rely on rations and water and that sort of thing. At normal pace, you get 9 tokens. You still can't use stealth, but you get the benefits of all the other things. You can forage and your perception checks are made as normal. And if you go slow, you get 6 tokens, but you can use stealth. So you automatically roll stealth when you arrive at a combat encounter, essentially, because you were going slow enough to be quiet and careful. How fast do you want to go?
First question is, where the heck are we going?
Oh yeah, I should probably point that out. Yeah, so I've put a token on the map just to sort of represent it, but it is to the east. It's about 5 hexes roughly over on the coast. I will say, if I just move the unwrecked vineyard, there's a little road there towards the vineyard. Roads are cheaper to go on than anything else.
And that is literally the only road in all of Airedale currently.
Yeah.
Is there like an actual path to that place, or will we have to
You'll be
like,
hiking through the wilderness as soon as you're past this one road. That sort of ends at Frida's vineyard. The wine mum of the group desperately needed wine, and otherwise no one has needed to travel further out yet.
Yeah, and there's a bridge across that bit of river, yes.
Yeah. I will say that the bridge does count as going across the second river as well. It's the bridge applies any hex with roads in. You don't have to worry about river crossings. You can just assume there are bridges. Ben's reminding me in the chat that I was going to add more roads, and shut up, Ben. I know. I forgot. That's on me. I know.
Might
just get you all to do it at some point.
I don't reckon we need to rush to get there.
Okay.
Crimp's not going anywhere.
No, that's
and
true.
There's no Kraken.
Like,
It doesn't exist. It's fine.
Yeah, no. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No such thing as a Kraken.
Ignore the eyewitness accounts from the encounters who made it back here.
Yeah, but they make stuff up.
Oric know of all these like sticky notes on this map?
Yeah, because those were encountered by people who've since returned to Airedale, so they probably would have told all their stories around maybe a campfire in a tavern or that sort of thing. So you have this sort of understanding of where these dangerous things are or where these other things are. You're not guaranteed to hit those things as you go through again, though. There are brand new encounters that I've drawn from the tarot deck of encounters that we have.
Oh yeah, doesn't Thoric need a tarot card?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I can
actually.
get
Yeah, Tyler, you do it because I don't have the Major Arcana on me.
I have a tarot deck with me.
If you've got the Major Arcana split out, if you want to draw yourself a card, that'd be great.
But yeah, Thoric would definitely know about all the sticky notes and stuff. Ephraim would have
Yeah.
made sure the maps are easily accessible.
I drew Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Great. Let me just...
Oh, I like Patchy Jack.
Why did I just Google Wheel of Fortune? Of course I'm going to get the game show. Let's see. Good luck or bad luck, resistance to change, karma, life cycles, destiny, a turning point, or breaking cycles. Excellent. We don't do the whether it's reversed or not. It's sort of a much more general sort of painting of... Basically, when we draw the tarot of random encounters, we include the major arcana for the characters on the quest. And if it comes up, then something related to their character is happening on the quest. In this case,
That's
I
not
will
what I
say
implemented.
it actually hasn't happened. This time it's all non, but you know, it's happened before for I think Ben's done it so far. But we're still fairly new to doing that bit. But yeah, so
Yeah.
choose a
Probably.
pace.
I reckon normal pace is probably
Normal pace.
Yeah.
Okay. And choose yourself
Yeah.
a hex, move your token, and update your total. That little... I've just realized my marker is exactly the same color as the little sticky note, but that sticky note is attached to the Grom.
This is mine.
And that's how many tokens you get on a normal pace. But obviously, if you want to go for a slow or fast pace, you can update. Slow would be 6, fast is 12.
yeah.
I mean, I'm always up for a casual stroll in the woods.
Yeah,
That
no
sounds
need
great.
to rush.
Yeah. Okay. So normal pace and choose where you're going. I mean, the first one is almost always usually the one with the road, because the one with the road you have no encounter on. So you're not going to get attacked because that's safe location. Like people are going between Airedale and Frida's Vineyard, usually Frida, and Frida wobbling back quite a lot. So you're
Vintage
not
when
going to have
Vintage is
windows.
around.
Yeah, and Vintage, the dog, when Vintage is around. But at the moment, Vintage is getting his face eaten off by a load of bugs.
Yeah, it's going great. Any objections to going to the winery?
None.
Okay, move yourself on over. Subtract 2 tokens because roads are a little bit faster, and choose your next one. So you have obviously more plains down here, so that'll be 3 tokens to enter this one. Over here, you've got forest. Forest is 6 tokens because it's quite dense, you know, and you're never making a straight journey through a forest. You're always like weaving around like dense thickets and that sort of thing.
But what if we have a ranger?
Even if you have a ranger, it's extremely dense.
I mean, Parfait can just go over the forest.
Yeah, your
All right,
problem,
now-
Parfait, is you're being slowed down by the others, essentially.
Yeah, there's a turtle there.
You're essentially like hopping and skipping through the forest. You're going really fast. You're having a great time. Maybe you're scouting or something while this is happening. But the others are trudging through. You're finding the right path for them, but it's not as the crow flies path at all for them.
Yeah, like the only good thing about us going through the forest is Bree said the Dryad is a fan of my cooking, and I might be able to leverage favors that way.
That is true,
Ooh.
and that is possible.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Right, can we try and find a dryad?
You can try, yeah. You can head on into the forest. I reckon that makes sense. So head on in, subtract 6 tokens, because that's 8 miles of forest walking you've done. And once your tokens are out, you've just got to take a short rest, and that means resting overnight. Now, in here, what you come across is you hear giggling, and there's just the sounds of joy, really. And you come across some dancing lights. You're not going stealthily, so they will have seen you on arrival, and the dancing lights sort of look at you, giggle, and they shake a little bit, and a little bit of dust sort of falls off of them, glittering dust, and then the lights implode and go poof, like bubbles, and you see 4 pixies. And the pixies are flying around, and they're casting little minor spells at each other, like pushing each other around and going like that. And they're just having a lovely time, really. And they see you and go, "Do you want to play with us?"
I am wary of any fey creature.
That's absolutely fair. If you would like, you can roll me this would be a nature check to get a good understanding of these creatures. And I think, you've got a pretty reasonable reason to know about them.
Yeah. 16.
Okay. So these are definitely pixies. They are generally good aligned. They're a little bit mischievous, though, nonetheless. They're a bit chaotic. That they can turn invisible at the drop of a hat, and they can also cast spells, and the spells don't tend to work on them so much. But otherwise, they are generally good aligned, even if they are a little bit chaotic. They might play a prank, but they won't harm you,
All right. So, Parfait will reach into his pack, pull out Jeremy, and say, "Hey, yeah, my friend, he likes playing games."
Okay. They are going to... I'm just going through the list of spells that they can cast. It's quite a large list, actually. What are they going to cast that works on Jeremy? Most of their spells work on people. They're going to... No, wow, it is only on people. They only have spells that work on people. So they're gonna the one in the front just sort of pouts and goes, "That one's no fun. How about you? Do you want to play?"
I'm gonna flip a coin because luck. Why not?
And the others start chanting, "Play, play, 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 play."
Well, let's find out what the coin says.
There are muffled little creature noises from under Efrain's hat.
With the fairies.
Okay. And the fairies go, "We'll play with all of you." And they fly over to you. And they shake their pixie dust on you. And I'm just double checking if you get a save. Yes. Now I'm making an assumption you're unwilling. In this case, for the effect that's about to happen. Can I get a wisdom saving throw from the 3 of you?
That's a natural 1.
Natural 1. Okay.
I blame it on my mismatching dice.
That's all right. You're just getting
18.
the bad ones out of the way now. 18's good.
19.
What about 19? Okay, so this is only happening. This is only happening to Thoric. Thoric, you are hit with the spell Polymorph.
Figures.
And you are turned into... I'm gonna roll a D3 because I've got 3 stat blocks here for what you can turn into. And they're all equally funny. And let's find out. It's 1. You turn into a crab. So you shrink down and you're now a tiny beast with little pincers. You're amphibious, but otherwise not particularly good at many things. You will be this way for an hour, so it won't last for very long. I will say probably just until you move to the next hex, basically. But you're a crab now. The rest of you, how are you feeling about this? You've just seen Thoric turn into a crab.
Parfait is gonna give out a bit of a laugh and say, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, we thought so too. Shame it didn't work on all of you. The other 2 creatures that I had there for the D3, by the way, were sheep and badger. They go,
Excellent.
do you want to play something else? And one of them touches Parfait and casts Fly. So
I just
Parfait,
start flying around
you can
like
fly
Peter
now.
Pan.
And the last one. Yeah, I'm sorry, Talia.
No, you're not.
I'm a little sorry. I'm a little
you're
sorry.
not.
The last one touches you. I'm going to need one final thing from them. They're playing here. It's another wisdom saving throw for this. All of their spells target wisdom, really. Except for Fly, which doesn't have a save.
This one's a 9.
A 9. Okay, so you're hit with the spell Confusion.
Excellent.
And that's only gonna last a minute, but while this spell hits you and while this dust sparkles around you, you're starting to hallucinate a little bit. And it's sort of clouding your mind.
Yes, so let's
see what you do.
taken a fisher taunt and sent them on a bad trip while there is a crab nearby.
When you put it like that.
Oh no.
At the end of the
no.
day as well,
Oh
looking
no.
at our travel tokens.
Oh no. Okay, yeah. So we have a scenario. We have a situation here. Freyan is obsessed with fishing. Thoric is a crab. I'm gonna say that Parfait, everyone in the Airedale parties knows enough about the other people in Airedale that you would know that this is going to be an impending problem. So Parfait, you get the immediate feeling. I need to keep these two separate, right?
Yep.
So let me just roll a d10 to see what actually happens for the first turn. It's a 9. Okay, this time around, Freyan, you can act and move normally. So it's almost like you've got a brief moment of lucidity at the moment. But there's
Excellent.
it's a really tasty looking crab right there.
Yeah, but no, that's Thoric and kind of backing away.
Yeah, friends, not food. Thoric, you're a crab. How are you feeling about this?
This crab is if this crab could scowl, it would.
So you're feeling crabby, is what you're saying.
Yeah, sure.
I apologize. That was terrible. I will say, if you do need to attack anyone, you have a +0 to hit and 1 bludgeoning damage. 1 bludgeoning damage with a crab's claw, apparently. Should be piercing in my opinion, but there we go. You also have 2 hit points.
Yeah, that I do.
Yeah, so over to Parfait. Parfait, how are you going to keep the rest of your party alive?
Well, at the moment, I wanted to say after I got the fly spell, I was kind of like putting on a bit of a show for the pixies, like swirling or like doing like tumbles, like I'm not sure what's happening, and then I just accidentally bumped my head into a tree just to, get a laugh out of the pixies.
Oh yeah, they love that. All eyes are on you right now.
And then I see the dwarf get turned into a crab and know that there's a fisher turtle.
Yeah,
So I grab the crab and fly up in the air
good idea.
and hide in top of the tree.
Good idea. Yeah. So you grab Thoric and you fly up into the air. Thoric, I'm assuming you're not resisting, or are you?
I don't know if I could if I tried.
That's
I am
true.
a crab.
I think at best
also
you could
like to
do is
point
try to
out-
bite or claw even.
Yeah, I also like to point out I have the Steel Defender following us as well.
Yes, you do. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, how would the Steel Defender react to this? Oh, that looks rather like an attack on essentially, their ward. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, I'm going to leave that up to you. How do you think the Steel Defender would react? I mean, this is essentially your creation.
It would probably be in a very defensive stance, but
Yeah.
unless directly attacked, it knows.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, defender's in the name. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So on to the next confusion roll for a free in. Okay. Creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. There is no creature within your reach this time around because Parfay's flown Thoric away, so I think you're okay. I think
And
what
the
we'll
pixies
say
are out of the
is,
way?
I would say the pixies are watching from afar. They know their mischief. They know what their spells can do.
Fair enough.
So they're watching from afar and giggling. I think this is likely going to continue like this because the fairies, the pixies are doing this as a joke, just a prank. And they're not going to actively attack. And that's really the other spell they've got is an actual genuine dealing damage attack. So I think, I think Parfay's essentially solved this situation really nicely. So I think we're going to move on. So a little bit of time passes and the spells wear off. Thoric returns to dwarf form. Do you have any choice words for the pixies after that?
Well, I have many, but none that I could say that would not get us in trouble with them, most likely.
That's fair. Yeah, and also the same time the spell wears off on Afrian, you just get this pang of hunger every now and then. But you're okay. You're in control of it. That's your first encounter. And now it is time for sleep because you've only got one token left.
Yes.
So that was, just check which card that was. That was the Two of Pentacles.
Ooh. And yeah, sleeping in this hex has never gone wrong, traditionally.
Yes, this is where you got attacked by the Stalker, didn't you?
No, this is where we got
Amped
attacked
up.
by Tattle.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Druids, they can't be trusted. Okay, so overnight, you can choose to keep a watch or you can just all go to sleep. It's your choice. But if you're keeping a watch, usually you need to spend 6 out of 8 hours of the sleeping. So you can each take 2-hour watches. I will say the Steel Defender can take an additional 2-hour watch to sort of round it out to all 4. But if you
The
can
Steel Defender can watch all night and it can't be surprised.
Yeah. That's right. Well, you could all just sleep then. Yeah, you've got it. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Yeah, so the Steel Defender is keeping watch and you're all able to get a really good night's sleep. This is going to be the best slept party that Normark's seen, I think. Everyone's everyone's going to be
tired.
So nothing happens overnight, and you all wake up feeling a lot better. So choose your pace for today. You can obviously continue with the same pace as you would like. You get the additional 1 token that you had left over. So if you go at normal pace, you've got 10 tokens this time around.
Sound good to everyone?
No place sounds fine to me.
Okay. Let's see what the next one. Okay.
Boop.
Lovely.
That's 3 tokens.
Yep, that's 3 tokens because it's always the cost of what you're entering, not what you're exiting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you exit onto the plains, and it's quite. There's still a bit of forest left here, but it's a lot wider. It's not as dense and it's not as foreboding. And as you're sort of clearing the forest line, you hear crashing through the trees something heavy, something really heavy, and a really sort of loud and booming voice speaking in Giant, which unfortunately we've confirmed is the French accent in this game, because it means I have to do one. And at the same time, oh, you two know Giant. Okay. So what you can hear are the words break, break, destroy, destroy, break, break, destroy, destroy, break, break, destroy, destroy, for our king. And bursting through the tree line, you see an unusual sight. I will say that, an unusual sight. It's an ogre. The ogre has on its back a small wooden tower. And in that tower, it's almost like it's wearing like a big backpack. And in that tower are two goblins with bows and spears. And it's crashing through. So it's just like, it's barreling through the undergrowth toward just outwards. You get this sort of feeling that maybe it's on like hunting exercises or something like that. And it sees you, because again, not moving stealthily, and goes, fresh meat, and starts running towards you. So yeah, this is an unusual creature called an ogre howder, and I'm going to open up a little map for us.
Pretty sure this is a
behind
battle
us?
palace.
It is basically a talus from the Legend of Zelda.
Is it coming from like where we came from, out of the woods?
Yeah, from behind you. So I've opened up a little map. I've already put a Onins token down. I don't have a token for you two yet, but we'll fix that soon enough. So I'm going to put down some temporary tokens for you for now. So for...
Can you just change that name?
For Thoric, we'll put an Artificer down, and we'll put Ranger down for Parfait. And I'll just give them
Need one for the Steel Defender as well.
Yes, we will. That's a very good point. Let me just...
While you're doing this, don't I recognize either of the goblins on its back? I do have the eyes of the eagle, so I can see them.
You do have the eyes of the eagle, so you can see very far. You do not recognize these. It's possible they are either new recruits or unaffiliated to the goblins that you know. Pardon me. Let me get Steel Defender. Let's just get a Beast token. That's probably the closest that we can do. I don't think I've got a Construct one. I should have a Construct. There's a Construct. Steel Defender. There we go. You can update your positioning a little bit because you heard the sounds. You had a little bit of warning. So you can move anywhere sort of in this general circle if you want to sort of start in cover behind a tree or something like that. But yes, the Ogre Howder is coming straight at you, and I would like you all please to roll initiative.
Yes.
It's good you're not still a crab.
19.
19, very nice. So one thing you can do in here is you can actually add yourself to the initiative. If you select your token, there's an item second from the right that says add to initiative. So if you just do that, that'll add itself to the initiative tracker that we have in the top left.
Yeah.
So, wow.
I
I
missed
rolled
how to do that.
badly on initiative.
Ah, I see it.
I got 8. Goblin B got 3. And the Ogre Howder got a 5.
It's going to be rare that I roll bad on initiative. I've got +9.
Yeah. You physically couldn't
I
have
had
lost
rolled.
initiative to any of the goblins or the ogre. Okay. So
'Cause I had to roll really well to get that score.
we are going to go to a Freean first. Oh no, we're probably going to Parfait first because Parfait's dexterity will be higher than a Freean's if you've got the same number.
Fix. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that works. Yep. I will also add the I think, does the Steel Defender go after your turn? I think that's how Tasha's works it for most of those, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll put it onto initiative just so I can remember to call out that it goes next. 3.5, so it's just straight after your turn.
It shares my initiative count, but takes a turn immediately after mine.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So I put it on at 3.5, so it's just in there between the goblins. So we go to the top of the round with Parfait. Parfait, this thing is huge. I mean, let me give you a little bit of information about what it's got, because it's not like hiding or anything. It's running straight at you. It's got a big old mace. It's essentially got a fort on its back, so the goblins are hiding in the cover provided by the fort. The goblins, they've got short bows and they've got spears. And yeah, big and angy. What would you like to do?
Big and angry.
Yeah.
I would like to Hail of Thorns the goblins.
Okay, that sounds great. Hail of Thorns, fantastic. What does it look like when Parfait casts Hail of Thorns?
The arrow flies straight towards the target and just like splits into just a shard of wood, or shards of wood that just grow bigger and impale whatever they hit.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Okay. Yeah. That's great. That just takes a bonus action. And then you can make your attack if you would like to.
Oh, 10. 10 is, I don't think 10's gonna hit. Did my audio cut out?
Yeah, what was the number?
Rolled a 10, but multiple attacks first round of combat, so try again.
Absolutely, because it works until the next time you hit. So yeah, and it's concentration for up to a minute. So you can just keep trying. So you're targeting one of the goblins, because you've got to target a single one with the attack roll, and then it's the explosion afterwards sort of affects everything around it. Yeah.
Goblin B, yep.
Goblin B sounds great.
21.
21. 21 only just hits Goblin B, so great, well done.
Oh, all right. And so roll damage for Hail of Thorns and the attack.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you do the attack first, and then we'll do Hail of Thorns straight after that.
The attack is 11, but as Dread
11.
Ambusher is triggered, it also does bonus force damage.
Ooh, excellent.
Crit on the force damage, well, max damage, so 8.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so Goblin B takes this arrow, so let me explain a little bit of the rules of the Goblin Howder. The Goblin Howder, the fort there is providing 3/4 cover to the goblins. That's +5 to their AC. But despite that, you draw a bead and you fire that arrow, and it strikes true straight into the head of Goblin B, just as Goblin B was probably popping up to shoot back. Goblin B falls straight off of the Howder and dies. Great shot. So then it explodes, and that's going to target Goblin A and Howder. So yeah, let's do that bit. I believe it's a dex save, isn't it? Yeah, dex save. So I'll start with Goblin A, and we'll see how it does. I notoriously roll bad, so it's probably not going to go well. It isn't. 7, so that's a failure. And let's roll for the ogre. I don't know how I always roll bad. It just always happens. 9 for the ogre. Okay, so they're both hit by Hail of Thorns.
Good shot.
Yeah, so it is 1d10 piercing, I believe.
And it did 10.
It did 10. Excellent. So the second goblin falls and dies. Off of the Goblin Howder. Wow. I mean, the Goblin Howder is still going, but the Ogre Howder is still going, but the goblins are both dead on top of it. Well done. Great first round. Great first turn. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
And I am going to stay hidden behind a tree.
Yeah, what an opener. Absolutely fantastic. That is what Dread Ambusher is all about, though. That is just mwah, superb. Okay, fantastic.
That was excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm blown away. That was absolutely wonderful. Okay, Afrian, over to you.
Okay. I'm going to 2, 3, 10, 15, 20, 25. Kind of move up to it, banging my spear on my shield. Get its attention.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try and reason with it.
Okay. You do speak giant, so absolutely.
I do speak giant.
What are you going to
Oi.
say?
Your riders are gone behind you.
All the more meat for me, it says in a French accent. all the more food for myself, no?
There's just yell up from behind the tree. Eat your friends.
Of course I will eat my friends. That's what this is for. But I'm big. I have a big stomach. I'm very hungry. You will
Fair
make
enough,
fine
then.
feast. I will eat all of you. Do not worry, though. I will flavor you properly.
Well, let's make a little more room, and I throw my spear at its stomach.
Ah, yes. Okay. Honestly, this is a hard ranked fight, and I somehow feel it's not going to be hard anymore. Wow.
That is a 17 to hit.
A 17 hits. Yep. Roll damage. I should have put a second one on, apparently.
That's 9 damage.
9
A small
damage.
hole in its stomach.
Very good. You deal 9 damage to the ogre, and the ogre responds, Sacre bleu? That is not very nice of you. What? I can speak French. That's the worst part, and I can't do a French accent whenever I'm required to do one. Okay, it is, however, the ogre's go. The ogre is going to do what the ogre does best, and that is run straight past you.
Excellent.
15, 20. Actually, how far can you run? 25, 30, 35 foot. Not far enough. Not far enough. So he's going to run around you like that and strike at you with a mace. So let's see. With my notoriously bad rolling dice, can I hit anyone? Oh, that actually is a natural 19. So 25. And you take, because this is a supersized mace, so it deals double dice. You take 14 bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, it hits hard.
Yeah.
It's tenderizing the meat, you know. But that's his go. That's his go. And we go to Thoric. Oops, I've accidentally gone around too far. There we go. We go to Thoric. So, Thoric, you see the Ogre Howder has just absolutely cracked a Freean over the head with this massive mace. But, has its back to you. And the goblins are down. Thoric?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Oh, no worries.
I'm going to command my steel defender to move up to flank the ogre, and I'm
Nice.
going to shoot it with a crossbow bolt from my mechanical arm.
That sounds great. Yeah.
With a natural 20.
This
Hey,
ogre
nice.
is not going to last like more than one combat round, is it? Okay, yeah, roll damage.
For 16 piercing damage.
Ooh, okay. So the crossbow bolt strikes true, straight into the ogre's back, and the ogre rears backwards and is like, ah! And turns to look at the steel defender as the steel defender runs in. It is now bloodied, so it's past half of its health lost. It is still up
Steel
though.
defender rolls in.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh
it's,
sorry. Yes, the steel defender rolls in. Quite right. Quite right. Great hit. Yeah. So, what's the steel defender doing?
And it is going to make a weapon attack. The force empowered rend thing.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
So you have flanking here, so there will be advantage on the attack.
That is another crit.
Oh my god!
I'm not even kidding.
Roll damage. This ogre is not long for this world.
And that is 2d8. Where is this? For another 14 damage. Force
14
damage.
force damage. Let me just. Okay, very good. Very good. I will say for free, this ogre is not vulnerable or resistant to anything, so just tally up the numbers. But no, it's very good to split them out. Excellent, excellent. We go round to the top to Parfait. Parfait, this ogre is not looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Parfait is, just watching the ogre getting absolutely tormented. Its friends are dead. It's not looking too great either. So I'm just gonna pop out of my spot
Yep.
and just shoot it again and just give it a stink eye.
Absolutely. I mean, at the start of the 6 seconds ago, this ogre was feeling very confident. It's amazing what 6 seconds will do.
Whoops, I accidentally rolled attack and damage at the same time. 25 to hit, 12 damage.
Whoo, 25 to hit, 12 damage. Hold on a sec, let me do some maths. Yep, that's enough. Well done. The ogre howler collapses to the ground, and this sort of it's very ramshackle fortress on its back crumbles to pieces. Congratulations on beating this combat within approximately 8 seconds. So all of that action happened in about 8 seconds time. This thing crashed through the underbrush, saw you, took aim, ran forwards. Parfait immediately dropped 2 goblins. Afrian stood up and got hit really hard, and then Thoric went in and dealt a huge amount of damage, and Parfait finished off. That is 8 seconds of time. Incredible. Really, really, really well played. That genuinely is a difficult encounter for your level, so very, very well done. Yeah, we'll go back to the main map. That was fast. I clearly need to challenge this party a bit more.
What, you mean I can't loot that house?
You can definitely do a little looting if you want. I will say that house is mostly abandoned. I'll bring you back here anyway, and you can definitely do a bit of looting, because at the very least the goblins had already done. So they were sort of a raiding party, so they'll have already done a bit of looting. So let me just get what they had in their pockets is.
I will retrieve my crossbow bolt.
Yeah, of course. And let me just. There it is. Okay. So.
In the last time I used Parfait in the Fandover campaign, his favorite enemy was goblins. He doesn't like goblins.
So. Okay, the two goblins had each amassed 20 copper pieces each, so 40 copper pieces in total, but the ogre howler was carrying 14 gold pieces.
Nice.
I'm really impressed. I expected that to be a free rounder, honestly, because the 3/4 cover gives you +5 to AC, which makes those goblins a lot harder to hit all of a sudden, and they can use it to hide, which means they're very difficult to take down. But yeah, that Hail of Thorns, just what you needed. Absolutely fantastic.
I will from the loot will take 2 copper coins and tape them to the inside of Jeremy, and now he has eyeballs.
There's the loot pool.
I love that.
There was a loot pool.
So yeah, there's a total of 40 copper pieces and 14 gold pieces that were in the pockets of the ogre and goblins that you just killed.
Thoric also dislikes goblins.
Wow, do I have the goblin NPC for you lot to meet? It's going to be great.
Afrian dislikes one particular goblin.
I think it might be that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely
14.
fantastic. Right, you've got 7 more tokens, and you're almost getting to Bleakwash. Is the DM fast regretting not preparing anything in Bleakwash, assuming that 5 encounters would be enough to slow down the things? Sure. It'll be fine.
Like on a meta level, I'm more than happy to let everybody else control the traveling on the map.
Yep, absolutely.
I figured we might go via the. Actually, the magic stones are boring. Let's go south.
Yep, you can go into the hills. Absolutely.
How much does it cost
Is
to go
that
into the
it?
hills?
Is that hills or plains?
That one is hills. It
Oh.
costs. Let me just get you that. Hills is 4, so it's only 1 extra over here over plains.
Which works out about the same anyway, because
We had the one left over from sleeping.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we'd only make it 2 hexes anyway. So
This is personally very good to me because this conversation has given me enough time to relog back into Legend Keeper, which has only just decided to log me out. Thanks, Legend Keeper. I don't know why. I just decided it was going to do it.
well, we can't go through the magic stones, Ben. So right now they're just there. I mean, we can go through them, but we won't go through them because I think everyone in this party is smart.
Smarter than some of the members of the party, for sure. Of other parties, for sure. Even.
Yeah, none of them are imp. So
Imp's smart. Imp just has no regard for their own safety.
yeah, that's true.
I think so far in campaign, the dumbest thing Parfait has done is just like accidentally start a Dragonborn Dryad fight.
That was beautiful.
There we go. Right, I'm back in. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to move into the hills, go for it. And I've now got
We
the
did.
notes ahead of me again. Okay. As you are traveling through the hills, you enter a muddier area. There's been a bit of rain recently, so for the benefit of the players, the time is roughly equivalent to sort of March, so it's sort of springtime. There's been a lot of spring showers, and there's a fair amount of mud, and you sort of trudge through it. Parfait, you're finding it an easier time than everyone else because you're quite light on your feet. But it's not too bad. It's not going to slow you down or anything like that. As you're stepping through the mud, your foot, I'm gonna roll a d6 for who it, or a d3 even for who. Okay, so that's actually going to be Parfait. Your foot brushes against something in the mud, something cold and slimy, not unlike mud, I suppose, and shaped like a human arm.
Oh, that's disconcerting. So I'll try to like jump out of the way and
Okay.
point out to everyone else that there's something in the mud.
Yep. And as you do that, the mud starts to churn and the arm reaches out and a torso pulls itself out of the mud. And let me just get us another map because that happened quicker than I expected, actually.
Probably not the best time, but you smell that mountain air.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, let's go fetid backwater. That sounds great. Ignore the characters on here already. Right, there we go.
Oh, so not mountain air. Got it. Fetid backwaters.
It's just the way I can do a bit of muddy ground for you. And let me pop one in. We're going to put you in this is the mud that you're in at the moment. And let me put down
Oh no, difficult terrain.
construct. Yep, and the mud is difficult terrain. Oh, no, that's not what construct. That's paladin. Construct, and let's find ranger and artificer. And around you, crawling out of this fetid mud. You know what, let me actually name them. That's going to be easier. You see ghouls.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
From Celesta.
indeed.
Jeremy, when you said you were going to introduce me to your friends, this is not what I had in mind.
There we go.
Now remember, the rest of you.
Jeremy,
If I fall in the mire, be sure to haul me out sharpish. I'm not as tall as the rest of you. One false step and I'll be in over my head. It's not dignified.
Oh, hang on, there should be one more. There we go. Oh, that's called itself C. That's not right. There we go. G. There we go. So I'm going to need initiative again. And yeah, you're surrounded by ghouls that are pouring out. And so ghouls have, they're sort of like rotting zombies, you know? They're not exactly the same as zombies. One thing that you'd probably know about ghouls is they're a little bit faster, and their claws are very dangerous. Their claws are toxic, and that toxin can paralyze you. So if they scratch you, there's a chance you'll end up paralyzed, and if you're paralyzed, they'll fall on you and eat you. So they're a little more intelligent than zombies, but that's not a very high bar. And yeah, they're all around you. They do like an ambush. They do like an ambush, ghouls.
How long have we had to prepare?
It kind of has jumped out at you.
Excellent.
How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ghouls. Okay, and I will add the ghouls to initiative, which I can bulk do, which is nice. Oh, have I got 2 ghoul E's? What have I done? A, B.
Oh no, don't get grabbed
C, D,
by the
E,
ghoul
F, G.
E's.
That one needs to be H. There we go. Yep, there we go. Okay, so because there's so many of them, I'm going to do them in group initiative. So, A, what the hell is wrong with you? Get on the initiative. There we go. A and B are going at initiative 15. C and D at initiative 10. E and F at initiative 5. And G and H, which also isn't on the initiative. There we go. G and H are going at initiative 0. There we go. So actually, realistically, a lot of the ghouls are just going straight after you. Whoops, that should be 20, not 210. There we go. Huh? Extremely fast ghoul. That ghoul's arriving yesterday on the initiative. Right.
Yeah, I think I accidentally just skipped initiative ahead. I was trying to close the menu.
Oh, yep. Sorry. No, it's all right. I can go back round. Unsurprisingly, Parfait's at the top of the initiative, which is very good.
What? No way.
I know, it's amazing that it happened. Yeah, you are surrounded by mud-covered ghouls. This area here is your mud, so this is the water. This is difficult terrain, so obviously it's going to take twice as much movement to get through there. We'll ignore that thing over there. Otherwise, these cliff bits here, they're 10 feet high, so you can climb them or jump them or whatever to get a bit of high ground. Otherwise, the rest of it is just standard terrain.
All right. So, if I move out of the way, Ghoul A will opportunity attack. But if I stay here, I'm going to get attacked by a bunch of ghouls.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to rabbit hop 30 feet that way.
Okay. Does Rabbit Hop avoid opportunity attacks? I can't remember.
It does.
It does. Excellent. So yeah, because you've got
Ranger remembering opportunity attacks.
You've got the boots of springing and striding, which allow you to jump 3 times as far as per usual. And of course, as a Harangon, you can rabbit hop a couple of times every long rest. So this is one use of that, and it's a great use of it. So you can get clear, you hop free, and yeah, you're in the clear. Absolutely.
I'm just
My
curious
token's labeled Thoric.
as to why we are even in this mire and not on that path.
It's
Why
almost
would we
like I
decide to step
randomly
in here?
grabbed a map.
I mean, if we were gonna be on this map, we would probably be on that path.
Yep,
Like,
that's true.
yeah. All right, so I'm going to well, half cover behind this because I still got my regular movement.
You do? Yep.
I assume I can cover behind that, and take some pot shots at Ghoul A and B.
Okay. Ghoul A and Ghoul B. Lovely. No, Google, not Google. Honestly. Go for it.
16 on first attack on A.
16 on the first attack. That hits.
12.
That hits. I
Nice
will now
hit.
tell you for free their AC is 12.
Oh no! The first attack's damage was 12.
Well, you got some free information.
Sorry,
12 damage is great, though.
There
That
we
is
go.
a bloodied ghoul on Ghoul A.
I suppose favored foe, I guess.
You can favored forward, absolutely. It costs nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No action anyway.
So what is it? Just an extra D4?
I believe so. Yeah, that's right.
2.
2 extra damage. Lovely. A nice bloodied ghoul.
And then attack Ghoul B.
Oh, yes, of course, because Dread Ambusher. Yes, absolutely. Your second attack.
Let's just pretend I didn't do that. Natural 1.
Okay. You think you thought better of it and you went, no, I'm just going to throw this arrow away, which you can collect later. Okay.
The arrow falls off its knocking point into the mud.
Ghouls A, B, and D. How did I do this? I was doing them in groups of 2.
Somebody mentioned in the chat to check D's thing. Initiative.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Ghoul D was meant to be 10. There we go. So it's A and B are up next. There we go. That's better. Groups of 2, A and B. Right. They're going to come forwards into here and into here. So Ghoul A is going to lash out with its awful claws. And this one is going on Thoric. So, Thoric, I know that your Steel Defender has a reaction. If you would like to do that,
Yeah.
you can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
So
Disadvantage on the attack.
disadvantage. Okay, let's see. That is a 15 to hit.
That misses.
Excellent. So the claws go and can't get through your armor, not least because your Steel Defender is sort of lunging in between. Ghoul B is going to repeat the attack against you. This one is obviously uncontested by the Steel Defender. Let's see. Oh, that's even worse. That's a 14 to hit. So your armor's holding... Oh, that's a 13 to hit, sorry. Your armor's holding well. Absolutely. Okay. Let me bring that back around. There we go. Okay, it is Thoric's go. You got 2 ghouls right up against you, and they've got their massive, disgusting tongues out.
That I
Actually,
do. All
it's
right.
ghasts with the disgusting tongues. They're just wonky teeth and
I'm going
blood.
to take a first attack at Ghoul B with my hand axe. Which definitely, I think, misses with a 9.
yes, that will miss, I'm afraid. They are surprisingly fast. You know, they have a positive dex modifier. They're slightly agile.
And then an offhand attack with my short sword,
Okay,
which
yeah.
is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will hit, absolutely. So roll damage without the ability modifier, unless you have a
2
feat that lets
damage.
you do it. 2 damage, did you say?
For 2 piercing damage. Yeah, 2
Very
piercing
nice.
damage.
Okay. Let me just tally that into that one. Nice. Very good. And then it's your constructs go.
It takes the dodge action unless commanded to do otherwise.
Good point, because you used your bonus action. Very good point. Over to Aphrian. I mean, the dodge action's great anyway, like, and that's going to help. Aphrian, bad things. Maybe.
Yeah,
fish?
yeah.
They're kind of similar.
After that hit from the ogre, Frian's feeling a little bit cautious and is gonna use an action to coax the little critter out from under his hat.
Okay. You pick up the old fishing bucket hat, and out comes the axolotl. The axolotl.
Yep. And then for the bonus action is gonna command it to make a big green bubble of magic healing.
Yep. So for those watching unfamiliar, Aphrian is an artillerist artificer, and this is Aphrian's arcane cannon turret.
Yeah, it's
I
a little
think, or
axolotl.
one of the others. And it's a little axolotl, and it makes little protective bubbles, or sometimes deadly bubbles.
Yeah, so far only protective ones. So it's this little gill thrills glow green, and it blows a big bubble that pops around us and gives 7 temporary hit points to the three of us here.
Okay, so 7 temporary hit points go to Thoric, 7 temporary hit points go to the Steel Defender, 7 temporary hit points go to Aphrian. I don't think the turret gets them, but I might
And
be
to the
wrong on
cannon.
that. Oh yeah,
That's
okay, no,
adorable.
fair enough. Yeah,
That
didn't
is
know
an
it could
adorable
hit.
little axolotl.
it is.
Yeah. That is adorable.
Thank you.
Very good. Do you have anything else you get to do, Aphrian?
Nope, that was my bonus action in action.
Yeah. Okay. We go to a lot of ghouls.
We sure do.
So we basically have all the ghouls apart from A and B, so I'll just have them all move at once to save a bit of time. So Ghoul G is going to go up against the Steel Defender. Ghoul F is going to go up against Aphrian. Ghoul D to Aphrian. Ghoul C against Thoric. Ghoul A is going to run this way. I think that's as far as it can go. Wait, let me just check. Yeah, so it's going to dash to there. And then dash to there. I'll just sort of put you there just for the grid, but they're running over. They've dashed. They can't attack Parfait. The rest of you down here, though, we have G, F, D, and C. So C and D against C against Thoric. Let's see. Nope. Natural 5. This is seriously, you're gonna get used to this. My dice rolls are the worst. Genuinely the worst. D against Aphrian. Okay, that is an 11 plus numbers. I don't think that's gonna hit Aphrian. 15 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. F is against Aphrian as well.
Disadvantage.
Doesn't matter, I just rolled a natural 3, but yes, otherwise normally would be very good. And then G is going to be at disadvantage against the Steel Defender because the Steel Defender is dodging. Oh, and that's a 19 and 18. That's the first time I've rolled good. So that's going to be 22 to hit.
Oof.
On the Steel Defender. And that is going to be... So that's again with the claws. They love using their claws. Is the Steel Defender immune to paralysis?
Raven?
Oh, I was muted. I thought I unmuted myself.
Oh, no worries.
No.
No,
But it is
okay.
a construct. Which
Not immune.
is immune to poison.
It is unfortunately not the poison condition. So I'll need a Constitution saving throw. You're not guaranteed paralyzed.
That is a 7.
That is a failure. Okay, so first of all, the damage as well. That's 7 points of... Well, that's okay. That's 7 points of slashing damage, but you get 7 temporary hit points from Aphrian's turret.
Great.
on the construct. So I'm going to put a little ring around it to say that this is, we'll use purple, is paralyzed. Now, at the end of the Steel Defender's turns, it can repeat the save. But paralyzed is a dangerous condition. You can't take any actions. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saves, and attack rolls against you have advantage. And if it hits in melee, it's a critical hit.
It's weird. Most constructs are immune to paralyzed.
Yeah, I think possibly they thought that might have been too powerful for a companion, essentially. But yeah, most constructs are. But that's all the attacks that have come in. So only one of them has dealt damage, and in reality, it hasn't dealt any damage. It's just dealt the condition because Aphrian had applied temporary hit points. So we go around to the top to Parfait. Parfait, you've got two ghouls who've run up next to you, and they are looking very hungry.
Yes, they are. I was looking over my options and screw it. Zephyr Strike.
Zephyr Strike's a great option. It's one of my favorite ranger spells, honestly, Zephyr Strike.
It's one of my favorite too.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? Okay, what does Zephyr Strike look like for Parfait? How does that sort of manifest around Parfait?
Well, he calls on his fun little Gloomstalker energy, and he's just kind of like shrouded in like a blurry darkness. It kind of makes him like look like he's blinking back and forth between a hologram.
Oh, I like that. That's really cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
So he's going to run. Well, not dash. He's going to let's see. I'm right here, so let me measure real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I can go real far with Zephyr Strike on.
Yep, you can move about 12 squares, I think. Do you ignore difficult terrain with Zephyr Strike? Because the ghoul would have blocked you.
Well, if that's the case, then just go around.
Yeah, so you'll probably end up a couple of squares short, but of where you were, just because of having to go around. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah.
So
yeah, about something like here or so you'd probably be.
I can go 60 feet total with this.
Oh well, sorry. Yeah. In that case, yeah. So there are 12 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something like this.
Yep.
Nice. Just straight out of there. That's fantastic. I do love Zephyr Strike.
And I'm gonna take a shot on Ghoul H. Actually, no. It might be a little better to take a shot on Ghoul A because it's currently favored foe, and that would hopefully take some stress off party members.
Yeah. Okay. So this will end. So just looking up Zephyr Strike, because you've gained the extra speed, you will have to use the advantage side of things because you only get the bonus of 30 feet movement when you use the actual strike attached to Zephyr Strike.
All right.
But I mean, you can. There's no problem with that. You can do that this turn if you want. But it would end the spell like for the avoiding opportunity attacks bit.
I thought I looked that up and then lasts the full minute regardless.
The opportunity attacks last concentration. It's the bonus speed only happens for the one turn where you use the attack side of it.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the avoiding opportunity, not the speed. But yeah, there's a 27 hit.
Yes.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
Just to spite you.
Yep, it definitely hits. Which one are you targeting as well?
A, because it's right next to the party.
Yep, it's already damaged as well, so that's a good one to choose.
Yeah, so that's 11 piercing damage.
11 piercing damage,
plus
very nice.
A D4 for favored foe. Only one. And then Zephyr Strike, I guess, because that's how that works. 5 force damage, so 17 total.
Okay. That kills the ghoul. And just so you know, that's all your uses of favored foe now.
This kills the man.
Oh, that's right. It doesn't work like Hunter's Mark. That's right.
No,
Sorry.
it's proficiency bonus per. No, I mean that's a good use of it. Like you're taking down the action economy. That's a great use of it. Yeah, that's definitely this kills the ghoul. Yeah.
I just want to say the extra force damage from the arrow it pops. It just pops.
Just yeah, it's absolutely explodes. Yeah, fantastic turn again. Yeah, absolutely. We go to Ghoul B, who's missing the Ghoul buddy. Okay. Ghoul B is going to strike Thoric. Like, why change up right now? You know, you got him surrounded. Go for it. Is the Steel Defender doing the... Ooh,
Paralyzed.
No. Yes, paralyzed. That's a good point. So it's going to be a normal attack. But then again, as I've said, I'm the worst at rolling dice. So we'll see. Just gonna put this in the bin. Just gonna put this D20 in the bin. It's never coming back. Just never.
You should keep rolling with it.
Yeah, no, that's so that's a natural 5, so I'm definitely not hitting. Over to you, Thoric.
All right. I'm gonna try to lodge my hand axe into its face.
That's a great shout. I think that's a really good plan. Yeah.
21.
21 hits. Yep.
For 8 slashing damage.
8 slashing damage. Very good. Let me just pop that. Excellent. Okay. Not quite bloodied, but it's taken some damage.
And then I'm going to, with my hand axe firmly lodged into it, I'm going to attempt to decapitate it.
Ooh, okay.
With 19 with my short sword.
With your short sword, a 19 will hit. Yes.
It's just 1
damage.
Just 1 damage.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's got really tough, like it's very leathery, its skin, so it's not quite getting through. That has, however, just bloodied it. So you've drawn some blood. You've you know, your mark has struck true. It's just these are pretty hardy zombie-like creatures. Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, your Steel Defender can't go, but it can now repeat the saving throw, so it'd be a Constitution save.
9.
Unfortunate, it's still paralyzed. Afrian, over to you.
I am going to stab Goldie.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. With the good old magic pointy stick. That is an 11.
An 11 doesn't hit, I'm afraid.
Dang.
That was
But
close,
my cannon
but
crit is gonna blow another magic bubble.
Yep.
Which I've written down what that roll is. One day I will remember. D8 plus 5. That is 12 temporary hit points.
Okay, so replace all of the temporary hit points you've got with 12 now, because temporary hit points don't stack. But yeah, that's a really nice buffer of health. That is great. We then go to all the ghouls. So I'll start with the ones up here. They're going to chase. They're going to chase Parfait, but they're not going to do it very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 11. They are dashing again to do this, so only just making it over with the dash. And then let's see. We've got Ghoul C and D. So C's going to try and strike Thoric. D is going to strike Afrian. F and G are going for the Steel Defender, I'm afraid. They have one thing that they do. So we'll start with C and D. So first one against Thoric. Give me something good. That is a 19 to hit.
That's
Okay, so they do. So this is the claws again. So can you make me a Constitution save while I roll the damage?
You said their claws are like poisonous, right?
It's sort of a toxin. It is not counted as a poison. on the rules, but it is sort of, yeah, it causes paralysis. There isn't really an adequate explanation of what causes it, but unfortunately it doesn't count as poisoned.
That advantage against poison, but I rolled a natural 20 anyways.
A natural 20 is great. Yeah, you're not getting affected by it. It does do 10 points of slashing damage to you with that attack. Second one coming in for a Freyan. That is an 17, sorry,
Nope.
to hit. Okay, won't hit,
Nope.
of course, because a Freyan's got this big carapace. Okay, and then
And a
Ghoul F
shield.
and a shield. Ghoul F and G coming up against the Steel Defender with advantage and an automatic critical hit if they hit. So the first one is, let me check the modifier. So these are coming with bites. The first one is an 18 to hit,
Hits.
and the second one is a lot
He's
worse.
against the Steel Defender, right?
Yeah, is a 12 to hit.
12 does not hit.
Okay, so one bite hits and is an automatic critical hit, so it is going to do 4d6.
Ooh.
Yeah, so 20 points of piercing damage to the Steel Defender as that bite just tears on in. Bear in mind the Steel Defender would have had 12 temporary hit points, so subtract those first. So 8 points in the end after that.
You got
That's all of them. And we go to Parfait. Parfait, once again, you've got two ghouls facing you, but they are looking out of breath. They are basically running after you constantly and not getting to attack.
Yep. Gonna make a main and offhand short sword attack on. Well, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna back up more and keep shooting because that's working so well so far.
Yeah, it's working great. Yeah, why change? Why change that? You're not taking attack of opportunities, and for as long as you're concentrating on Zephyr Strike, so you may as well. Yeah.
Whoops! I accidentally undid my movement. That's 30 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna shoot Ghoul E. Hopefully, right in the face.
Yeah, right in the ghoulie.
Oh, 10.
10 won't hit, I'm afraid. So this time the arrow just goes straight past, embeds in the dirt behind. These Ravenous ghouls, they are fast. They are sort of gambling towards you. Because obviously all of this actually takes place all at the same time. Like, turns are sort of a way to abstract that, but there's a lot of chaos on the battlefield. It's hard to draw a bead. Anything else?
Let's see. What can I bonus action? I mean, I could Hail of Thorns again, but
That would drop your concentration on Zephyr Strike.
yeah, I was gonna say it would do that. Nothing at the moment.
Okay.
Hail Thorns also concentration?
Yeah, it's one of the weirder ones where it applies to the next time you hit, but that could be up to a minute in the future. It's a strange one.
Weird.
Ghoul B, again missing its buddy, is going to strike at Thoric with the claws. If you've not realized yet, ghouls basically hit you with claws until they can bite you to death. And might actually hit this. Yep, I think that's going to hit. That's a unnatural 20, not a natural 20. Unnatural 20. And with the claws, so I will need another Constitution saving throw, please, Thoric, while I roll damage.
12.
A 12's a pass, and I am dealing 9 points of piercing damage to you. Slashing damage to you, sorry. 9 points of slashing damage.
Well,
Will be. And then it is your go.
all right. Taking my axe out of its face, I'm going to once again
Yes.
put it back in,
Yes.
but at a different angle.
I like that image that it's just been
23.
attacking you with it stuck in there. Yeah, 23 hits. Absolutely. This
Or
could be the
6
end of
slashing damage.
it. Ooh, it's not the end of it, but it's very close. Very close indeed.
And then offhand short sword for
Yep.
12.
12 hits. Yep.
For 6.
6 is exactly what you needed. Yes. So this time you
All right,
do
so I'm
lop
gonna-
that head off.
No, I'm gonna take the the short sword, which is attached to my my mechanical arm. I'm gonna jam it into the middle of it and slice upwards,
Oh,
splitting it like in twain,
Oh, that's amazing. Absolutely fantastic.
like a doom finisher.
Yes. Ah, amazing. Yeah. Just delete that ghoul. Fantastic work. And obviously, the Steel Defender can repeat the saving throw for paralysis.
Yep, doing it. That is a 14.
That's a pass. So Steel Defender's going to be back. Obviously, it's just finished its turn there. But next turn, it's back. It's no longer paralyzed, so I'll take away that that little colored ring. And it's obviously now able to use its reaction as well, importantly. Afrian, over to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the pointy stick, shake it, bang it on my boot, and then try stabbing again.
Good idea. That's probably it. Just needed a little percussive maintenance. Just try it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
17.
absolutely. 17. That hits. That works.
Hey. Let me just scroll all over my character sheet today. 7.
7 damage. Very good. So that one's against Ghoul D. So let me just pop that
Yeah,
in.
against School D.
Very good. That's the first damage against that one.
Yay.
And another bubble pop.
Yep. Or 12 again.
Excellent. 12 temporary hit points to everyone directly around Afrian. And then we go to the ghouls. I think basically they're all running on the same initiative turn now, so I can just have them all go at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're actually going to be able to attack this turn for once.
Oh
The
no.
others are kind of just, gonna stay where they are. They're in good positions at the moment. They just need to be able to land that paralysis. So we're gonna start with the ones down here around Afrian and the like. So we're gonna have Ghoul G is gonna go against the Steel Defender, Ghoul F against Afrian, Ghoul D against Afrian, Ghoul C against Thoric. Actually, D's going against Thoric as well because Thoric's just obliterated a ghoul, and that's a little worrying for them. So C and D against Thoric. I'll do those first.
Even though I just stabbed it.
Oh yeah, no, D's actually going against Afrian. Very good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
So C against Thoric. That is an unnatural 20 to hit again. The red D20 is coming through for me now that I've binned the green one.
Yeah, that one needs to go in the bin.
No. So I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw, please, Thoric. And that's 7 points of damage.
19.
19's a pass. Excellent. So D and F against Afrian. So D first.
Disadvantage on F.
Disadvantage on F. Okay, got it. So that is 21 to hit from D.
That might hit, yeah.
And I'll do F at the same time, but this time with disadvantage. Ooh, atrocious. Robbed me of a natural 20 there. The Steel Defender jumping in, forcing that to be a natural 5 instead. Fantastic. So the one that hits, though, I'll need a Constitution saving throw, please, from Afrian.
Yeah.
Technically, I should have done that
I'm
first, because if you
gonna-
fail this, the next one wouldn't have had disadvantage. Because of paralysis.
26.
No, that's fine. You take 6 points of slashing damage, but again, that actually I keep forgetting the axolotl is targetable. The axolotl is targetable. Target the axolotl, Nick. Okay.
No, I quite like you not targeting it, actually.
And G's going to target the Steel Defender. It doesn't get the benefit from the dodge action until next turn, but it might not hit, to be honest. Probably won't hit. That's a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh,
That's its AC,
okay.
exactly.
I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw. And takes 5 slashing damage, but again,
13.
that's covered by the... that's the pass. So that's that group done. And now for Parfai's attacks. So E
I
and
can't
H.
actually track its temp health on D&D Beyond, which is annoying.
Oh, it should have an area. I would imagine it would have an area for temp HP. There's enough
I
spells.
can only track its normal health.
Can you put its? Is there like a note box or anything you could maybe put it in? But yeah, that's a bit awkward.
I see a thing for temp health, but it requires you to have a character sheet.
Yeah, like the way it tracks its health is just a little like yeah, I'll just take it like a screenshot.
Okay, fair. So E and H are going to strike at Parfait with the claws. Okay, so first one is a 15 to hit. The second one is much lower. That's a 10 to hit.
15 hits.
15 hits. Okay, I need a Constitution saving throw,
That is
please,
my
from
AC.
Parfait.
Natural 20.
Very good. Very good. You take 7 points of slashing damage, but you are not paralyzed. That's excellent, because if you had been paralyzed, that would have been a very rough.
Very bad.
Yeah, to be that isolated from the party and paralyzed would be very rough. But no, you're all good. And in fact, it is now your go.
Yep. So,
I
second
will
verse,
need-
same as
sorry.
the first.
Sorry, yeah, I've just remembered. I'll need a
Concentration.
second Constitution saving throw, this time for keeping concentration on Zephyr Strike.
13.
That's a pass. Yeah, you just need a 10 for those unless I do more than 20 damage in one go. Okay, over to you.
All
Sorry.
right.
I've got an idea.
Nice.
Run away and shoot.
Yep. It's a good idea.
On Ghoul E.
On Ghoul E. Okay.
16.
16 hits. Yeah.
11. 11 damage.
11 damage. So instantly bloodying that ghoul. Very nice. Very good. Yeah. Anything else?
Nothing that will help.
Honestly, that's great.
So-
That's a great move. We go to Thoric. Things are starting to turn. The tide is turning now. I think things are starting to go your way.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to hand axe Ghoul C
Nice. Yes.
for 14
14 hits. Yep.
or 10 slashing damage.
10 slashing damage is great. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. And then the Steel Defender is going to splash at Ghoul G
Yep. Okay.
for 17
17. Great hit. Yeah.
for 5 force damage.
5 force damage. Lovely. Yeah, that's great. That's a really good turn. Dealing the damage out now. That's what I like to see. Afrian, over to you.
Another stab now that the stick works.
Yeah.
Ghoul
Now,
D.
now that you've got it fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
25.
25 hits.
Which, yeah.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah. Turns out all it needed was a good little whack. That is. Oh, hell yeah. 10 damage.
Okay. Okay, that works. That works. Let me just get the right one. 10 damage. Nice.
And then,
That is now bloodied. Yeah.
yeah.
Can I get a quick reminder of what it means to be bloodied in this game?
And that just means it's under half health, basically. So it's a good way to say. It's a good way to get a rough estimate of how far away something is from death. You never know the exact number, but you get a feeling for when you've got it down to half. That means, so if you're fighting like a big boss and it takes like 4 turns to get them down to half health, you can start to think, maybe I need to run. But here you can go, okay, this one's, if we focus fire on this one, we're going to take it down pretty soon, that sort of thing. Otherwise, mechanically, it does nothing. Anything
Okay,
else
good to know.
from Afrian?
Yeah. Axolotl Cannon Crit is gonna blow another big bubble and give everyone who has less than 7 temporary HP 7 temporary HP.
Okay. That temporary HP is fantastic.
It is.
It's such a good move. Like the damage that it does is great as well, but that temporary HP is so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially for a third level feature, it's such a good thing. It is limited
It
though.
would be a lot less if I wasn't, extremely lucky and managed to get 20 intelligence on character
Yeah.
creation.
So what we'll do is we've got the ghouls next, but we're sort of getting to a good point to take a break because we've been going for about 2 hours. So I'll finish up the ghouls. We'll go to the top of the round. We'll take a break and then we'll come back with Parfait's next go. So we'll do the ghouls first though. E and H are going to be easy. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. So we'll start with those two. So they have flanking on you. So
Oh no,
Ghoul H
I'm in
is-
danger.
Yeah, Ghoul H is going to attack with advantage. They're both using the claws. Well, first one's going to use claws. Wow. There we go. There's the Nick rolling 5 and a 6. Let's try again with Ghoul E. There we go. That's better. So that is an unnatural 20. So I'm going to need a Constitution saving
Yeah, I think
throw
that hits.
from Parfait, and you take 5 points of slashing damage.
21.
21's a pass. Again, no paralysis. And the others are going to strike around here. So C's going for Thoric because Thoric's attacked C. D is going for a free-in. F is going for the turret because I've just remembered I can do that. And G is going for the Steel Defender. So I'll start with Thoric.
Not to distract you for a second. Sorry, how much damage did I take?
Sorry, you took, hang on, 5 points of slashing damage. So we'll
Thank
start
you.
with C against Thoric. And that's a natural 19, so that's going to hit. So I'll need a con save, please, Thoric.
17.
Okay, that's a pass, and you take 6 points of slashing damage. Then Ghoul D against a free-in. Natural 1, great. Ghoul F against the bloody turret. Let's see. Oh, natural 20. It was waiting.
Oh no.
It was
I was
waiting.
trying to say disadvantage, but I was muted.
Oh, do you want to? If you, no, I'll allow that. If you were muted, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let me roll
I
again.
can mute it again.
Okay, that's less. That is a 19. So it's not a natural 20,
Oh, yeah, that still hits.
but it was a. I'm sorry, it was a 20 and a 15. So that still hits.
But not by much.
Is the turret immune to paralysis?
Good question.
It'll probably say on your artillerist feat, but at the same time, I'll roll the damage for it, although it will be less than the temporary hit points it has. So that's 6 points of
And it
slashing
is-
damage.
It doesn't have any condition immunities.
So I'll need a Constitution saving throw from it.
Okay, how much was the
Oh,
damage? Sorry?
no, hold on. It's not a creature.
Oh no, it's not actually. It's an object.
Let me just double check the exact wording on the ghoul, because sometimes it says if it's a creature.
Is
If the target is a
magical object.
creature, it must succeed on a... Yeah, okay. So constructs are creatures, objects aren't. So this is a very weirdly, like, fluffy part, or, like, crunchy part of the rules here. But technically speaking,
Yeah.
the cannon cannot be targeted by the... I mean, it can be targeted by the claws, but it can't be targeted by the paralysis effect. Weird.
Yes.
Really weird that this is not a construct, but there we go. That's
Yep.
the weird nitty gritty of 5e's rule set. So that is F, and we just have G against the Steel Defender.
How much damage was it? Sorry.
Sorry, that was... Oh, I've accidentally just thrown them on the ground again, and they've gone to max. I know it wasn't max, because I'd remember that, so I'm going to roll it again. It is 9 points of slashing
Yeah.
damage.
Okay.
But yeah, that's covered by your... chat is saying it was 6, so 6 is still also covered by your temporary hit points, so it's going to be pretty academic, because you'll get
Sure
them
is.
back again before anyone else attacks the turret, regardless. Okay, Ghoul G against the Steel Defender, and then we'll go for a break. Ghoul G has rolled a 14 plus 4, 18 against the Steel Defender.
hits.
Dealing 7 points of slashing damage, again covered by the things, but the Steel Defender must make a Constitution saving throw from paralysis.
That is 23.
23. Passed. Wonderfully done. Parfait. So you are surrounded by ghouls. What do?
Yep, and I am just repeating it until they die.
It's a good
So
idea.
run away and shoot Wooly again.
Did I remember to make you make another concentration check? I think I did. Yeah, we'll just say I did. I could never. Remember.
I'm running out of room to move. I assume the bushes on the edge are difficult terrain.
Yes, they would be. The bushes there. The tree trunk is impassable, but you can go around it, of course.
That's about where I can go then. So I'm gonna take a pot shot at Ghoulie and hopefully knock it down.
Okay.
I did not.
Ooh. What was the total? Their AC is not very high.
It was 10.
Oh, close, but no.
And I've got a +8 to hit.
Yeah, your roll. You found my d20 apparently. Yeah, that's bad luck. Okay, we go to Thoric
luck.
then.
I'm gonna strike at Ghoul C's right leg with
yes.
a dirty 20
Yes, excellent. Roll
for
damage.
9 slashing damage.
Oh, lovely. It is not looking great at all. It's looking, very, very bloodied now.
And the Steel Defender is going to strike at Ghoul G
Oh, excellent.
for 19,
19 hits. Yep.
Nice.
doing 3 force damage.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Over to
Could've been
Freyan.
much-
Well, if it ain't broke, Freyan's gonna stab Goldie until it is broke. Is that 25?
A 25 hits. Yep.
And 8 damage.
8 damage is. Hang on. Let me just double check which one. Oh, yep. 8 damage is enough to kill Ghoul D.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Hold on.
Yankee. And then another healing bubble.
Yep.
10 bonus HP.
Pop out that healing bubble. It's great. Is it? How big is the bubble? Does the bubble affect Parfait as well?
It does not, no.
Okay.
It's 10 feet.
Fair enough. We go to the ghouls. C is going to strike Thoric for, the indignance that it's feeling at being attacked.
Trying to make it the same height as me.
Yeah, oh, I love that. E and H are going to do what they did before. G is going to do something new. It's coming in as well. And it will take an attack of opportunity from the Steel Defender if the Steel Defender wishes to. Unless it wishes to use its reaction for something else, of course.
Yeah, actually, it's gonna attack that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. 17 to hit
That hits.
for 8 damage.
8 damage. Ooh, nice. That's good damage. That is good damage on it. Okay, so C is going to attack Thoric. F is going to go for the turret. So C first of all against Thoric. Let's see what we got here. That is an 11 to hit, so I'm assuming not.
Nope.
F against the bloody turret. A natural 20 again.
Oh,
No, I don't think I natural 20'd last time. That got turned into...
You did, but then it got robbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got disadvantaged.
So no con save on this, but it's going to be several d4s of damage.
It's like you're about to eat a Popeye's biscuit and I yoinked it right out of your mouth.
So that is plus 2, 15 points of slashing damage.
That is quite a bit.
Yep. Oh, how much temporary hit points was that last pop?
10.
Nice. So 5 afterwards. How much HP does your cannon have?
15.
15. Okay, well, you only a third lost, so not bad. And then G, H, and E are going to attack Parfait. And with the way flanking works for me,
This will not end well.
G also has flanking as it's going like that. So let's see what happens. First one is an 18 to hit. Second one. No, actually, you know what? 18 to hit hits. I should work out damage first, because I might be doing automatic criticals if I hit. So I'll need a con save from Parfait.
15.
15's a pass. That's great. You take 7 points of slashing damage. Then the second attack comes in. It's a 21 to hit. So another Constitution save, please.
12.
That's a pass. And you take 6 points of slashing damage. How are you doing for healing as the last attack comes in?
I have 6 health.
Okay. Well, it could be a lot worse. And that last one's a natural 20.
Oh,
Okay.
that's ungood.
Advantage does massively increase the chance of natural 20s, unfortunately. On the plus side, I don't think you can physically all out die from this. Like, I literally cannot do enough damage to do that. So ultimately, it's probably going to have the same effect, which is you end up downed, but nothing else on top of that, you know? Technically speaking, I do need another Constitution saving throw because of the way it works. That's actually a really low roll. 2, 4, 5. And that is 6 plus 2, 8 damage. So you are unconscious, taking death saves. And I will need a con save for paralysis.
Yeah, I rolled a natural on the paralysis, but I'm going to re-roll it with inspiration.
Sure, that's fine. Yep.
That wasn't much better. 7.
7. Okay, so you're also paralyzed. So I'll put that on there. You can repeat that save at the start of each of your turns. Even when you're, like, dying, you can still make con saves. Because, I mean, it you know, it's your body's sort of ability to fight off things. You don't need to be awake for that. Okay, that's all the ghouls go, though. Parfait, I need a death saving throw immediately.
Oh, fun. How do I roll that on D&D Beyond? There it is. Good thing. Found
There
it.
you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
excellent.
When you run out of health, it should pop up a thing.
1 failure.
1 failure. Okay. So-
You know, I think this is a good chance to use second inspiration.
Oh yeah, I gave you a bonus inspiration, didn't I? Yeah, a sneaky bonus inspiration because I'm sneaky like that. Yeah, go for it.
12.
12. That's a success. Excellent. Okay, we go to Thoric.
All right. I'm gonna have my Steel Defender move over there as
Okay.
I have Ghoul C.
Okay, so Ghoul F will make an attack of opportunity. That is a 16 to hit against.
That hits.
Okay, so I'll need a save against paralysis again. And that is 7 points of slashing damage.
That's a 21.
21 is a perfectly good save. Absolutely. I will say to
And
make it a
then,
little easier, the save DC is 10 on the paralysis. So just so we can go through it a little faster because it triggers a lot of saves when there's a lot of them. But
The
yeah,
hand axe attack misses because I rolled a 7.
it's unfortunate.
And the defender is going to continue. They're going to see all the arrows that are stuck in Ghoul E and try to finish it off.
I like it. I like it.
16 to hit
That hits. Yep.
for 8 damage.
For 8 damage. And that's enough. Very good. So Ghoul E is at the fight now.
This one is gonna slice it in half at the torso.
Excellent. That's really good.
And then a big like puff of steam is gonna come out of it like a roar.
Oh, yeah.
Choo-choo.
No, I like that. I like that. So a little info on how I usually run combat where down people are in there. I do consider downed enemies valid targets, but only for intelligent creatures, and ghouls are not intelligent. They will just go for the nearest threat. Because there is a steel defender right there, they're obviously going to target that instead of Parfait. So by moving the steel defender in there, you've probably saved Parfait's life. Afrian.
Now, I am going to.
And as a reminder, of
That's
course,
worth it.
anyone can make a nature check to stabilize someone.
That's true. We've got a bit of time. I'm gonna stab Ghoul C.
Good idea. Yep.
That's a 17
That hits, yeah. I think. Oh, yeah, medicine check, not nature check. I don't know what I was saying there.
and 7
You
damage.
done goof.
7 damage is enough. Ghoul C is gone as well. So,
Yeah.
even though things are looking a little hairy at the moment, the action economy is coming back to your favor now.
Well, really only Parfait's looking hairy.
Wow.
Anything else, Afrian?
And yeah, Cannon Critter's gonna jump down and go.
Okay. Ghoulef's used
Yeah.
its reaction, so you're not going to take an attack of opportunity.
Thorak's a pretty hairy man.
Actually, yeah, it's kind of there. Yep.
Okay.
And is going to then do its bubble from there.
Okay, so Afrian and the Steel Defender will get the temporary hit points this time.
Yeah. That is the highest roll it can be. That's 13.
Perfect. Okay, ghouls. Ghoul F is going to go for that turret.
course
It's
it
doing
is.
its best. But probably won't do very well. Let's see. Ooh, that is an unnatural 20.
That does hit.
I physically can't beat the amount of temporary healing it's got though. So 8 slashing damage. Ghoul H and Ghoul G are going for the Steel Defender. So Ghoul G first. That's a natural 19, so that'll hit. And the other one is a natural 16 for an unnatural 20. So 2 hits there.
Yep.
So I'm going to need 2 con saves from the Steel Defender against paralysis.
17
Mm-hmm.
and 10.
Both are passes. It was a DC 10, so you've met it. So you take 9 points of damage from the first set of claws, and 10 points of damage from the second set of claws. 19 in total.
Yep.
So that
Most
up.
of which is
yeah, still up. Like thanks to that axolotl giving you 13 temporary hit points there. That was it only turned into 6 points of damage after that. That's the ghouls. We go to Parfait. Parfait, a death saving throw, please.
Oh boy.
yep.
12.
That's a success. I thought for a
Yay.
second you were going to say natural 1 or something, which is of course 2 failures.
Of course.
Thorak, over to you.
Wait, should I save against paralysis too?
Oh yes. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Do a save for paralysis. In fact, do 2 because you'll have had 2 by now.
15
You've passed. There we go. All good. You're no longer paralyzed.
and 19.
Oh, excellent.
I'm going to run and jump over there shouting, Dwadori! And attack Ghoul G.
Okay. So because there are 2 enemies in here, I count this as what is known as a melee. So there's no advantage or disadvantage from flanking. Because effectively the ghouls here are sort of would be able to go back to back if they had space on the on the grid. But you make the attack as normal still.
Yeah. I rolled a natural 1,
Oh, unfortunately.
unfortunately.
If you have inspiration, you can use that to reroll in these games.
It's
No,
a
that's
new
fair enough.
character. They haven't done anything.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Your construct though is also in a good position.
Yep. Steel Defender is going to attack G as well
Okay.
for 24
24's good. There we go.
for 10 damage.
Ooh, yep. G is down. Very nice.
Nice.
So now, if you can get into a position like across from H, you'll definitely have flanking. That's wonderful. Oh yeah, and of course you
Like,
can, because you've still got the movement.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic. Over to Afrian.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best spot. So there. Doesn't quite reach Sark. Okay, that's fine. Friend's gonna move. Oh, they link together. Okay. Move down there. And Cannon Critter's gonna move over there. And Friend is going to stab Ghoul F.
Okay.
18.
18 hits. Yeah. Roll damage.
7 damage.
7 damage is good against Ghoul F.
And another 13 temporary hit points for everyone. For everyone this time.
I swear that artillery, it's ridiculous. Genuinely ridiculous. It's so powerful.
You have more tempo? Should.
Yep.
Yep, a 13.
Yes.
So it is then the ghouls. So Ghoul F is going to strike at Afrian because no other choice really. That is only a 16, so probably not going to hit Afrian, who's made of armor. Ghoul H now has so many targets. It's going to go for Thoric, I think. Am I right in thinking at disadvantage because of the Steel Defender?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and that's good because it's just robbed me of a natural 19. So that's an 11 to hit. So I don't think it's going to hit. It's a bad time for Ghoul H. I think Ghoul H is going to see how badly this is going and is going to try and break for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, the Steel Defender and Thoric can do an attack of opportunity. The turret
That's a
doesn't get one because
23
it's
from-
not a creature.
Or
Oh, excellent.
for 5 slashing damage
5 slashing damage is good.
and 18 from the Steel Defender
That hits as well. Yep.
for 9.
Oh, that's good damage. That ghoul had taken no damage yet, and is now well past bloodied. Like a fantastic
Nice.
combo there. Yeah.
And not even on your turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's-
I want to have ripped off one of its arms with that.
Yes, absolutely. You've ripped off one of its arms. For a second, it looks around like kind of wants to turn around and eat the arm, but no, it's going to keep going. That's the ghouls. Parfait, I need another death save.
Oh boy. 17.
17. That's another success. I think that's 3 successes now, so you're stable.
It is.
Wonderful. We go to Thoric.
I am not letting that thing get away.
No, absolutely not.
That is a 19 to hit for 8 slashing damage.
Ooh, I think that might be... Yep, that's exactly what you need to take that ghoul out. Nicely done.
So I run up and I cut off both of its legs.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Okay, then it's the constructs go, I think.
I don't know if I guess I can command it to try to. I mean, Parfait's already stabilized, so there's not much it can do.
Yeah. You could
Okay.
command it to
You
go
can have
after
a
Ghoul F,
fight.
I guess.
Oh yeah, that thing's still alright. I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will go stab that. I didn't even see
Okay.
that there. That hits with a 16 for 8 damage.
8 damage. That's good as well, actually. 8 damage is almost enough. It's right nearly there, and it's Afrine's go next, so probably isn't long for the world. Yep, perfect flanking position there.
Yep. And that is. And that one, nope. 16.
16 hits. Roll damage.
Which hits? Yeah. 10 damage.
10 damage. Perfect. Perfect. And the last ghoul goes back to the mud.
Yeah.
Obviously, Parfait is stable, so is not dying anymore, but is at 0 HP. So stable characters at 0 HP on their next rest, they do not get to roll hit dice unless they have hit points again. So they will, Parfait will get a hit point back in 1d4 hours. 3 hours.
Do temporary hit points count?
Temporary hit points do not count. You have to actually do actual healing, for them to get the benefit. But what I will do is move us back to the map screen because you're all done with this combat for sure.
Cast Cure Wounds
That works. That's perfect. Yeah.
or 10 healing.
Nice.
10 healing. Great. So Parfait, you are back up. I will say these ghouls did not have any loot on them. They are sort of everything about them is rotted away. They don't keep items so much. But you've got one
Parfait's
hex
gonna-
to go until you reach your goal.
Parfait's gonna get up, kind of open his eyes, gasp breath, stand up, look kind of shocked, dust himself off, and say, "Jeremy, your friends are not very nice, man."
I'll help you to your feet, Put a hand on your back. You put up a good fight, lad.
Thank you, dwarf. I'm sorry, I'm not good with names.
It's alright. Name's Turek.
Nice to meet you. Name's Parfait.
Heard about your last adventure.
Oh, the cooking competition. Yeah, that was fun. And Parfait will pull out a piece of a snack from the magic armor he's wearing that he got from that,
Yeah.
and it will once again be carrot themed, and he will scowl at his own armor. And
It's a mighty scowl you got there.
Yeah, I think this coat's mocking me. It produces one piece of food a day, and that's all I need to eat. But every single time I've pulled something out, it's always been carrot themed.
I'll be honest, that's hilarious.
Yeah, the coat has a sense of humor.
Be surprised to see what it'd do for me. But, anyways,
Well, you can try pulling a piece of food out tomorrow. I've got some extra rations on me. I don't have to use them
nah,
that
it's
day.
yours. You get to keep moving.
For now. And he will just start walking, I guess. I don't know how to remove the death saves thing off of D&D Beyond.
Heal yourself a little bit.
That was fantastic.
If you apply any
Nice.
healing, it'll go away.
There we go. I
Parfait
did
and
it.
Thoric, you both get inspiration.
While that conversation's happening, Ephraim's using mending to fix up the little axolotl.
Nice.
Yeah,
How
I
long does
still
the
look
axolotl
very dead.
last?
An hour?
Probably will have disappeared by the next hex.
Oh yeah. But I mean,
Okay.
it's still
You gotta
around.
take care
It's
of it,
just
yeah.
not a cannon anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. You still have the axolotl, it's just not active.
Yeah.
And of course, you can reactivate it using a spell slot. You get once a day for free,
Yes.
but after that, you can use a spell slot.
How long does
Lovely.
temp health last?
The temp health lasts
A long
until
rest.
your next long rest. A lot of temporary hit points have a condition that say, until your next turn or whatever. But if it doesn't, it's long rest. It's great.
So
Yep.
could I get some temp health from the axolotl?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've got time. Yeah, absolutely. You can do another burst. We'll just say take max because you'd effectively do
Yeah,
the
'cause
bubble
I can
burst
just keep
until it
doing
hit.
it.
Yeah. So instead of repeatedly rolling, just take the max.
You take
I'll
that.
spend some time repairing my steel defender as well, because I can do that with mending.
Yep.
And I will smile at the tiny axolotl and pet it.
It chirps.
Oh, that's
So what's the max temp health?
13.
Oh boy.
The temp health is a lifesaver.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The artillerist is
Kept a
an
goblin alive.
amazing subclass. Really, I mean, all the artificer ones are, in my opinion, even alchemist, which people don't like very much. But
I really like alchemist.
yeah, me too. I think it has a lot of fun to it, even if it's not like mechanically overpowered. It's still fun, which I think is the most important.
Yeah, it looks great.
I made a tech priest themed alchemist.
Oh, yes. Oh, that sounds great.
I thought about
Pretty cool.
Timing wise, we have got time for one more hex if you'd like, because I happen to know what I've drawn for it. It won't take that long.
Yeah, sure.
Are
I-
we just heading
yeah,
to the
go
nymph ponds as we know them?
You won't be heading to the nymph
Question
ponds.
mark?
You'll be heading to maybe the hex with the nymph ponds in, but you're taking a slightly different route this time.
Oh.
It'd be 8 squares. Eight
I wanna have a drink.
miles radius is approximately the size of Manchester, the entire city. So it's quite
Yeah.
easy. It's quite easy to miss the same thing twice. Like those pools were like 100 feet wide. But yeah, you come on in.
Well, yeah.
And what you come across this time is you come across the site of what appears to be a massacre. There are so many dead bodies in pools of blood with sword cuts through them and arrows. And in the center of it all are 2 figures. One is a man with a grizzled face and a splotchy beard, and sort of a lot of scars, and he's wearing a lot of heavy armor, and he's got like he's bristling with weapons. He's on his knees, and in front, holding a sword ready as if to strike, is a young woman with leather armor and a longbow, a quiver with empty of arrows. You sort of get the feeling that these arrows are now in the bodies of all the people around. And yeah, a short sword. Looks a bit like a ranger, probably. And they see you coming because you're not approaching stealthily. And the
Seems to be running trend.
woman addresses you and says, hey, come no closer. I had to deal with all of these. I don't want to have to deal with you as well.
Parfait will just speak up. Still kind of weak because he just got the shit kicked out of him. And if we don't mean any trouble, we're just on a little walkabout. What happened here? What's with all the bodies?
It was an ambush. I was coming through. They were up on that hill. 5 here. They came at me, but they underestimated me. This is their leader, and I am going to deal with him. And the leader looks at you and says, kind of with a defeated expression, and says, this one is killed not but for self-defense today. And you can see that he's wearing a little chain, and on there is a religious symbol that you recognize as the symbol of Morin, the god of life and death. And he says, if I must die, and I feel I must, let not their soul be besmirched by the killing of it. This is no self-defense killing now, this is execution. You look like killers. Do not make her pay for my sins. Promise me, you kill me, render unto her whatever help she asks for.
How are we feeling about this?
Well, one, do I believe them? So
Roll me insight. Yeah, roll me insight.
Yeah, I would like to do the same.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah, all three of you can roll insight for sure.
That's a
15.
19.
19, 15, and what for Ephrian?
7.
7. Okay. So, Ephrian, you know what I like to do with failed insight checks, which you can guess a 7 is I flip a coin, and on heads I give truth, and on tails I give a lie. That way you don't know if it's true or not.
Sure.
Ephrian, you think something is up.
Okay.
Here. Thoric and Parfait, you think this is an old man who's tired of the crimes he's committed and knows he's dying, trying in a way to sort of buy back a bit of grace just before the end.
So I guess it'd be sort of kind of like an honor situation.
Yeah, that sort of thing. You know, you get the feeling that he's like quite an old bandit. He's killed a lot of people, a lot of innocent people. He knows he's dying now, and because he knows he's dying now, he's suddenly worried about how that might look. And is just trying to get back a bit of honor, you know.
He's trying to save his skin at the last possible second.
Exactly. That's the vibe you get, yeah.
All right, so in Atos, are dwarves all about like honor, family, history, tradition, that kind of thing, like your standard dwarves?
There's a fair amount of that. Yeah, it's down to sort of individual characters will all differ a fair bit more, but there's a fair amount of that sort of honor and family. For example, in the cities, the dwarves are the ones who sort of run the effectively equivalent of the mafia, you know, but very family-based crime in the cities. But in the mountains, it's much more sort of it's much more down to individual choice. Many of them are very family oriented, but many that there are sort of almost like a journey folk sort of thing where you'll go out and you'll just do your own thing for a bit, pick up experience maybe for 100 years and then maybe go back, or maybe you'll settle down in a town somewhere.
All right, so Parfait's just gonna look at Thoric and like, what do you think we should do here?
Sorry, I was just being in the chat. Thoric is just gonna kind of shrug and be like, this doesn't seem to be any of our business.
That's fair. And the ranger says, well, if you don't mind keeping a wide berth, then I will deal with this.
Hang on, he's already defeated. And he's an old man, all alone, out here. You got a sword pointed at him.
So
Surely he's no danger now.
he's killed countless people. If I leave him, he'll just find more bandits and attack more people. He's not going to stop. Hell, he wants me to kill him, or he wants you to kill him. I don't
Then
know.
why are you giving him what he wants?
Because I am a monster slayer, and this is a monster.
Don't know, looks like a dwarf to me.
We could always. No, I don't know about the feasibility of getting him to any local authorities to make him stand trial for his crimes, but
I know
seems
what
killing
grave we
him
can
right
lock him
now.
in.
Maybe, but it seems like killing him right now might just be giving him what he wants.
What was with the question about the dwarf? Is this man a dwarf?
No.
Is that what I'm gathering here? Oh.
that was you.
me.
Oh.
That was me trying to get some background information on if dwarfs are like honor and all that, like your standard fantasy dwarves, and then try and direct Thoric into deciding what we're doing.
Makes sense.
You're doing it for my sake.
No, this bandit appears to be
Maybe.
human.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what Ephraim said before. Looks like a human to me.
That's fair. The ranger is sort of just staring at you lot. It looks like she's not going to strike until you're gone because she's a little worried that striking leaves her open to being attacked by you three. And so you get the sort of vibe that she's a little on edge, as one might be when one has been ambushed recently.
Thoric still does not care about either of them.
And that's totally fair. Yeah.
My friend's still not convinced that this is the right thing to be doing, because obviously he wasn't convinced by the ranger, but also, even if he was, that this is what the bandit wants. How's Parfait feeling?
Parfait is, well, he can't really stand tyrants, and I suppose thinking about it, that man has killed a lot of people, and that is pretty tyrannical. So Parfait may be just, trying to stealthily ready his bow for a headshot.
Okay. You probably can't stealthily ready a bow out in the plains, but he'll, he's not going to move away when you ready the bow. He's going to look you in the eyes and say, "Do it, but promise me that you'll help them," and gesture to the ranger. "Promise me, whatever they ask."
Now, I hate to ruin the drama, but I don't really know either of you, so I don't know what they're going to ask. So I can't guarantee that, but I can guarantee is you won't hurt any more people, and he shoots, go for an attack to the head.
Excellent. You don't have to roll an attack because this is a very controlled position. What happens is the arrow flies straight forward and vanishes in a puff of smoke. And you blink a second, and there, on their knees, is a succubus. And stood over the succubus is the Lord of Hell himself, Ashmedai, or Asmodeus. And he's holding a glass of wine and wearing a fine suit, and he goes, "I almost had you." "We'll try again some other time," and vanishes again.
Fucking, the last time I saw that guy, he was a rock.
It's weird how often he turns up. I genuinely drew that card again.
Yep, 3 times.
Yeah, so you actually all 3 failed the insight check. I'm afraid it was DC 20. But yeah,
Oh, it was one off.
Yeah, the idea was they were desperately trying to get you to promise to do whatever Asmodeus says.
It's like,
No,
I don't know
you'll
these
pass.
people. They could ask me to do anything. Why would I do that?
Exactly. There are definitely some characters I reckon that would work on, though, for sure. But yeah, well played, all 3 of you. Aegis, Imp. Yeah. You succeed. Obviously, you stay the night here. I'm just gonna say there's not gonna be an attack. The Steel Defender's watching, and we're at the end of the session anyway. But this counts as a short rest, so you can spend your hit dice to heal if you need to.
Yay.
It doesn't count as a long rest, so you do keep your temporary hit points.
And I will use cooking tools proficiency to cook a nice meal, and everyone gets an extra health per hit dice they spend.
Excellent.
Yay.
But yeah, you'll be moving on to the actual crypt, the Crypt of the Kraken, next time.
Yes.
That was close. That was honestly some masterwork D&D play today. I've been very impressed. There's been some really good use of mechanics. And yeah, I've had a great time.